Hi everybody, my name is Sarah Penner. I'm the author of The Lost Apothecary, which comes out next March with Parker Books, an imprint of HarperCollins. And today's video is aimed at my fellow writers and aspiring authors. And what I want to do is show you 3 books that have been so special to me and helpful to me in my journey from being an aspiring author to a soon-to-be published author. So I think we've all kind of heard of the big titles that are recommended to authors, writers far and wide. Of course, Stephen King's book on writing is a big one. Strunk and White, Elements of Styles is a big one. But what I want to show you today are 3 selections that I have in my personal library that are a little bit more unusual, and you might have either not heard of them or heard of them and kind of looked past them. But I'm here to just kind of tell you what I love about these 3 books and why I think they should be on your own bookshelf. So the first one I'm going to start with is Rainer Maria Rilke. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but it's Letters to a Young Poet. And I actually listened to this on audiobook first, and then I loved it so much on audiobook that I went and I bought the physical copy so I could highlight it. And this is just like it sounds. This very famous author and poet, Rilke, he wrote letters to a student that was seeking advice essentially on creativity and the angst that we're all so familiar with about generating ideas and the fear of rejection, all of the things that writers worry about every day. And this is just a really encouraging series of letters that, of course, were written to somebody else, but the lessons and the concepts in them apply to any of us who are feeling those same feelings. So very early in the book, on page 6, for example, one of the things I highlighted was admit to yourself whether you would die if it should be denied you to write. So the book is full of just really powerful statements like that and encouraging words. So this would be definitely the very first thing I would recommend, and it's super short as well. I kept this on my nightstand and read it, I think, in like less than a week, just a letter a night. So definitely recommend this one. The next one is called The War of Art, and this is by Steven Pressfield. This was probably the biggest game changer for me in the 5 years that I've been writing, because it talks about this entity known as resistance. And every time you wake up or in the middle of the day when you know you should be at your laptop, that thing inside you that will look for any other excuse to do anything else, even if it means deep cleaning the house, that is known as resistance, and it's an internal beast that we have to fight every single day. And The War of Art is full of really short, just 1, 2, 3 page essays about this thing that we're fighting called resistance. Book 2, Combating Resistance, Turning Pro. He talks a lot about just acting like a professional, and what does a professional athlete, a professional business person do? They sit down, they train, they deal with the problem at hand, even though they might wake up and not want to every day, or they're sick, or they're tired. There will always be an excuse. There will always be some pressing priority that seems more important than what you're doing with your creative efforts, and that little sound in your head that's telling you about all of those other priorities, that is resistance, and you have to fight that every day. So this is, I recommend this to everybody. And when I have writers who tell me, like, I'm just feeling discouraged, I can't really get going, I can't get momentum, I tell them that's resistance holding you back. Read this book. So this is the second one I would recommend. This third and final one is actually a craft book, and I'll admit the title is a bit salesy. It's called Writing the Breakout Novel by Donald Mass. He, in my opinion, he's a literary agent actually. He is one of the best in the industry. He's got some excellent guides. I have a few of his books actually. But this book, the reason why I'm recommending this is because, especially for those of you who are getting ready to dive into a new story, or maybe you are getting ready to start your first book that you've ever written, this is a very comprehensive, consolidated guide on everything from premise, so just what your story's about, to stakes, which is my personal favorite thing to talk about because I think that stakes can never be high enough in a story. If you're ever getting bored, you need to up the stakes. Time and place, your characters, your plot, contemporary plot techniques. So these are things that I go back to every time I start a new story and kind of ask myself, like, what should I do with my point of view in this story? Or should I resequence the story a little bit differently? So advanced plot structures, themes, etc. So again, the reason I like this, despite the title, which I'm not wild about because it kind of sounds, like something that's maybe not targeted to serious writers, but it is. It's a great guide. Anything by Donald Mass, I trust. He does a ton of workshops, is very connected to the industry. So I highly recommend that one. So these are the three that I would recommend for you. And I'm curious if anybody watching has read any of these, what you thought, what you liked, what you didn't like. Feel free to comment or ask questions below this video. But those are the three must-haves that I think every writer should have, no matter where you're at in your writing career. So thanks for watching, guys. Follow me on social media and add The Lost Apothecary to your Goodreads to read list. It comes out on March 2nd, 2021. So very excited. Thank you. Bye.